Tesla is not just in a world of trouble, they are a world of trouble. They're the company your mama warned you about. Brawls, racism, and illicit substances. Lawsuit reveals inside Tesla plant where Musk was directly involved with HR decisions. That and the boring company is a distracting disaster. We're going to discuss that. I got Randy Kirk here, who knows a few things about business, a few things about legal study. He was not a lawyer, but he did get a law degree. That makes him qualified to talk to me, if not you. So we're going to discuss that and figure out what on earth is going on. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Randy, I know you didn't see this because you'd be as upset as I am. This is the Independent. Brawls, racism, and that. Lawsuit reveals inside Tesla plant where Musk was directly involved with HR decisions. A bombshell lawsuit by a group of former employees alleges drug and alcohol use on the factory floor, sexual assaults on company property, and prevalent use of the N-word. So that's...
I want to interrupt here for a second.
Yes.
So everybody that follows my channel knows that I'm a born again Christian, a Bible thumper, a Baptist even. I was also all those things when I owned my factory. I know for sure that there was some of the C word drug thing that you were just talking about.
Coca-Cola Classic
happening at my facility. We did have one person arrested. I know that there was sexual issues going on at my factory, and there were people that were sent off to counseling and other people that probably got away with it. Anyway, all of these things happen even if you are on top of it. These things can happen. And I only had 100 employees, not 120,000. But I just thought that I'd give you that brief overlay.
That is the real thing, though, isn't it? Anytime you're managing a group of people, I've had classrooms where we were in a group project. There was only 4 of us, and one of them clearly had a drug problem. Now, what do I do? Do I report that to the teacher? Do I ask for a different? No, teacher says, move past it. Move past it. What do you want me to do? And great, we're going to address all of it all the time. We'd love to, but that's prohibitive. So let's get into the lawsuit here and figure out, you help me understand how valid this is. California have already allegedly gone from bad to worse. Working conditions. So we're going to talk about some things that happened many years ago and then conclude that it's gone from bad then to worse. Right. Nope, that's not what it's going to be. Sexual assaults aboard company shuttle buses. What are the odds that the company endorsed that?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty sure they had a sign up. Hey, you guys should do this.
Not only do we permit it, by all means, come on. Drug and alcohol abuse on site? Is it possible to have a factory with even 1,000 people where there is no drug or alcohol abuse?
Not that I'm aware of. Not in California.
Well, maybe in North Korea, maybe, even then, all out brawls breaking out between employees. Is it possible to have, again, thousands of people working in a place where there is never once a fight?
Yeah, I never had any that I can remember. My little 100-employee plant, I don't remember any fisticuffs or people in that kind of a fight. But boy, there was sure a lot of, I'm sorry to use it, ladies, because there's no ladies watching anyway, cat fights. And they almost always ended up in my office sad about the fact that they have been having this fight.
And prevalent, in quotes, bigotry, including racial slurs. I can't control what you think. I can't control how your thoughts work. 159-page federal lawsuit filed Thursday, obtained by the Independent. A former Fresno police officer in charge of security at the 22,000-person factory claims he and his team routinely seized cocaine and fentanyl on site, confiscated guns discovered in the building, investigated acts of sexual deviance. Okay, well, that doesn't necessarily mean abuse. That could mean consensual. Because Pretty
Yes.
sure the employee handbook frowns on that as well.
Yes.
And at regular intervals, pulled employees off the manufacturing line and sent them home for being intoxicated.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that is preventable.
Well, not only that, what did he just say? He said he was
That
part of
he,
a group of people. He was employed. His job was to police these things. So that would already tell me that Tesla was taking steps to prevent these things from happening and to take care of them when they did.
yes. Uh, so the fact that he is speaking at all
Yes,
indicates that someone was in charge of it.
right.
Healthy profits have always been more important to the company than a healthy working environment. For Tesla, more bodies on the line means more vehicles flying out the factory door, no matter how unclean the hands were that were assembling those cars. Doubt. I doubt. I doubt that claim.
Okay, there's no way. There's no manufacturer. I've known some slimy, sleazy manufacturers. I mean, some people that you wouldn't go to lunch with, because they're so slimy and sleazy, and they don't want to have anybody on the line that is inebriated. They don't want to have anybody on the line that is not there and ready to work, because getting bad product out the door or having machines break down because they're not doing what they're supposed to do is horrible. That's the worst thing that you can have happen.
Is there
Um,
anything more likely to cause a workplace injury than intoxication?
Absolutely, probably not. Probably not.
It's got to be right at the top of the list.
Horseplay, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, almost nothing.
But that's easier to spot,
Right,
easier to understand. Then, of course, they bring up the 2023 lawsuit over allegations of unbridled racism, which,
right,
as a reminder for those tuning in, the racism was not brought about by a Tesla employee, but a contractor who didn't actually work there. And uh, and I've toured the Fremont factory. I used my referral points to do that last year. And I will tell you that that is a majority minority workplace, which means I I don't know how much power that sort of language has in any context. It's impossible for me to understand it personally, but I don't get it. That whole thing was very confusing to me. I didn't I didn't understand it. Now worth yes.
Brian, if we want to take a risk here, and you could decide to take this off if you want to, but this is a state which is majority Hispanic or close to majority Hispanic, and there is a lot of racial animus between Hispanics and blacks, and it's not one way; it goes both ways. So between these two minority groups, there's a lot of animus, and sometimes it's gang related, sometimes it's not. And so it's no surprise to me that in any factory floor where you have potentially black factory workers and brown factory workers in the same place, you're probably going to end up with the occasional fight, verbal fight that might end up in some throwing about of words.
I have never seen someone as anti-Mexican as Cuban immigrants. I
Right.
don't know. I don't understand the animosity. Maybe it's historical, maybe it's cultural. I don't know. But even between Hispanic groups, there is deep-seated bigotry and hatred. I don't get it. Both of it's
Yeah.
okay. So fine, fine. Now, if we want to understand the bias of this particular article, we can just read this. Uh, the complaint was brought by Murray and former Tesla HR execs, and a bunch of them, says that Tesla CEO and erstwhile presidential first buddy. What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Presently, America's least likable public figure.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
He was personally involved in many of the factory's hiring and firing decisions. Now remind me, you had fewer than 120,000 employees.
Fewer. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Do you think how involved can a CEO be in the individual hiring and firing of a factory of a company of that size?
Not.
That is my
You might be hiring your, I think that Elon was very interested in hiring the engineers. I think I may have heard that he had a conversation with every engineering hire, but I doubt if he ever had a conversation with anybody that was hired for the line, for shipping and
Mhm.
receiving, for those kind of jobs.
It would be very surprising to me to find that a CEO is that's not hands on, that's micromanaging.
Right, right.
That would be
And
a
impossible. No time. You couldn't do it.
no time. That would be a poor use of an executive's time when you're not talking about from the engineering side, just the engineers, just being involved in those hires is already a whole lot of hours. So, okay. Musk was a frequent visitor to the facility, not just for high level photo ops. What? Of course not. But to take a hands on approach to managing, directing, and facilitating resolution of the manufacturing and workforce issues. So he is working. Come on. He would frequently visit the factory and manage resolution meetings with employees. So
That's a good thing. That's a
that's a good
positive thing. That
thing.
doesn't work for the case. That works against the case because if he was there and he saw that there was disputes and things that needed to be resolved and he was hands on about it, that's a good thing. The fact that he couldn't be there to resolve every dispute, well, that would be nuts.
A significant portion of the car makers hastily hired and poorly vetted workforce. Well, when you're ramping, I mean you are hiring hastily, right? I don't know how much vetting you want to do. I don't know if you know this, Randy. You've got some legal experience. How I want to vet this potential employee. I'm going to call their past employer. What will happen to that company if they tell me he's a racist, misogynist, and you shouldn't hire him?
They will get sued. But it's way worse than that. You can not only can you not ask you don't even bother to ask those questions. They're not going to tell you. But you can't have a private investigating firm go out and find
Oh,
out whether this person's a criminal or whether they've done criminal acts or anything about. I mean, it's just in California, there's no such thing as vetting anymore. That's why
so when I've worked at a lot of companies, they've done background checks on me. You can't do a background check?
well, you could do a
Wow.
background check within limitations. So you have a limited scope of the background check now in
Wow.
California. Yeah.
Wow.
No,
So,
that's one of the reasons I switched to temp to hire. Almost 100% of my employee decisions were I brought them in as temporaries, kept them there for a month or 2 months or 3 months as temporaries, and then made a decision to hire or not.
wow. Now we've got two more stories here that are kind of fun. I did want to say real quick subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you haven't. And if you wish to show some support, I'm going on a very big trip soon. That's going to be very exciting, cover a lot of fresh ground that no one in the English speaking world has yet covered. I know because I've checked and the interviews I've got scheduled are ridiculous. Couple bucks here or there, whatever. You do get some bonus content, but that's not the reason you do it. You do it to help the mission, and I appreciate that. So, what we're looking at for this next part is, and I just love this story. We're just going to cover it briefly. New distractions on his plate as boring company drama rages. What does this mean for Tesla stock? Now, we're going to not go through the whole thing because it's so dumb. Controversy as his new venture, his tunneling venture, Boring Company plans for a 10-mile loop in Nashville, despite his repeated promises to focus on Tesla and eliminate political distractions. Well, the political distraction, of course, is not created by him. It's created by people who hate him so much that they don't want a free tunnel.
Right, right.
And my question for you, Randy, is because he did say he was going to focus is how much is he how much time do you think he spends at the Boring Company?
I'm going to guess that maybe 10 hours a week,
I don't think
maybe
it's 10.
five.
I don't think it's 5. I
Yeah,
think it's a couple days a year.
yeah.
The people I've talked to out in Bastrop say he is very hands off. It's like, what about the Megapack factory in Lathrop? I've talked to employees there. How many uh, days a month do you think he goes to Lathrop? Bear in mind, it's a very short drive from San Francisco.
Yeah, probably never.
Correct. To
Yes.
their knowledge, he has never been there because it runs itself. It doesn't need him.
Moreover, we know that he works about 3 shifts personally. So 16
Uh-huh.
hours, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week is about the equivalent of 3 shifts.
Hmm.
So if he works 3 shifts, then he could put a full time job into Tesla and still have 2 full-time jobs left over for all of his other efforts. So if you assume that a CEO might work a little bit more than one full, 8-hour day, okay, let's call it a 45 or 50-hour week. So if 50 of his 150-hour week, 50 of his 120 hours is for Tesla, that would be all that he really needs to show up. 70 hours can go for others.
In the 90s, when I was in college, I had a friend who was a nanny for a Microsoft power couple. They were both executives at Microsoft, high level folks. And I said to her, "Oh my gosh, as their nanny, you must be, I mean, I assume they're working, 70, 80 hours a week." And she goes, no, it's like 30. They're barely ever gone. And I could not believe it. But the way Microsoft was behaving in the 90s, they were real, I mean, resting on their laurels. They'd set up shop on their laurels. So that was not too surprising. It turns out if you want to grow like crazy, you need to actually put in some work. And there are people who are just wired to work. If someone asked me, if you hit the mega millions, the Powerball, the whatever, had $1 billion tomorrow, would you retire? And I'm like, retire to do what? What I would do is this, but with higher production values, um, and less of it because I do too many. It's a lot of gotta be careful about burnouts. What I gotta do.
Yeah.
So to wrap up today, because this is fun, Randy, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. This is my favorite. This is just a snippet of headlines. I just did an old Google News search, and we got these headlines. Reuters: Tesla to roll out human-driven chauffeur service in the Bay Area. California regulator says. California regulator, I'm gonna go out on a limb, did not call it that.
No, probably not.
They didn't say that. Reuters, you did.
Uh,
And what a cynical take. But we're not done. Medium, Tesla's getting truly desperate. This is just embarrassing. Oof. Prediction: buying Tesla stock could set you up for life. Thank you, Motley Fool. But, they're playing the game. They will say the other thing also on the same
Also,
day.
yes, yes, yes.
Tesla shareholders ignore the past and take Musk's hefty goals as the real future. And of course, Seeking
It's
Alpha,
worked
who
really,
is
really well in the past.
for me, Tesla's 177 times price to earnings ratio, a fundamental warning sign. Oh, thank you for including the Nasdaq ticker symbol. What's going on?
Well, as you and I do all day long, that's what I do. I read these headlines, and nothing shocks anymore.
No, and guys, you got to give us some credit for trudging through the nonsense so you don't have to. Fortunately, Reuters has a paywall, and I will not click. And if I do, I use methods to not give them a penny, because once Reuters switched from being a news wire to being a publisher, they started chasing the clicks. And it's cynical and it's dishonest and it leads to a death spiral. So enjoy. Guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Head over to Randy's channel, find out what he's up to. And everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, when I go wherever it is that I'm going.